Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti here, and another Chamber of Commerce day. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 7 palm tree day. I don't know about 7 or 6, but how many are up there? But certainly get some partly cloudy skies. But fast main track, firm turf course, and of course the big news is a little later on: $350,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six. Great day of racing yesterday. It was a lot of fun. They bet like $11 million on the card or something like that, and it was had some really formful turf races. And congratulations to all the winners on yesterday's card, even the horses that ran second. So that takes care of all the early work. You know, we got each and every day. Today we have 11 races with the 1250 first post. So we got a couple of pick fives, a couple of pick fours. I mentioned already the Rainbow Six. So we're going to just go look at the card this afternoon. And we're going to start it off in the first race with a 7 furlong sprint. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $12,500 scratch to 6. And the word that comes to mind is wide open race. I went with an angle that I like in here, and this horse is 12-1 on the morning line, currently 5-1, and that's got Fluffy. And I'll tell you why. Turn it back to this level on the main track, drop it to this level, I should say, on the main track. Turning back to 7 furlongs after showing speed and weakening late. That was in back-to-back 16 route races on the turf. Maria is the trainer, Angel Arroyo in the saddle today. And I just thought this horse, I love horses that show speed going long in the grass, then turn back to 7 furlongs. A lot of people think these horses will be on the lead. I think they track, and that's Maria Mahia is the trainer. Angel Arroyo is the jockey. So I just thought that caught Fluffy, one of the angles I like on the board right now, 5-1. I can understand the money on the number 11 horse in here, Candenza, dropping from maiden special weight at Tampa all the way down to this level, but not a couple of those races were just okay in my estimation. So I'm going to try and beat that horse with the number 10 Got Fluffy. Number 1, Personal Meadow, is stretching out to 7 furlongs today. After dueling for the lead and finishing, I thought it improved a third, going 3/4 of a mile for Oscar Gonzalez. And you get Embassy El Jaramillo handling the inside draw this afternoon. So maybe this horse on the inside, another horse that's 5-1. And just looking at the board, you can see how wide open it is. What about the 7, who's 11-1 on Captured Pulse, who's stretching out also to 7 furlongs today after showing improved speed when dropped to this level on the main track? The trainer was Orbi Mirage. Luca Panici in the saddle today. Here's a barn that's pretty sharp. Every once in a while you got to watch him if you're looking for long shots. So that is the number 7 horse, as I mentioned, 11-1. Favorite as we flip the page very early in the wagering, as I mentioned, was the number 11 horse in there, Candenza. Race number 2, we're on the turf. It's a 5 furlong sprint. These are claimers, fillies, and mares. 3-year-olds and upward, non-winners of 2 races in life, 35 down to $25,000. I started it off with the number 1 in here, I Am the Boss, and I'll tell you why. This one now in the Francisco D'Angelo bond. This sort of street boss makes a 3-year-old debut. The first start since crushing a quartet of next out winners. So 4 next out winners now. It was a key 5 furlong turf race. But it was last August, so I got a little bit of guesswork going on here. She gets Lasix, and she gets Embassy El Jaramillo in the saddle. The number 5 horse in here is the favorite. It should be primed and ready. We're going to go back and show you this horse's last race. We're going to just show the turn for home, and this one's certainly out. You're going to see right there the number 8 horse, Choose to Be Happy, who I mentioned is the morning line favorite, and you're just going to see, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6 or 7 wide, turn it for home. 9-5 choice that day, almost out of the screen. It still now gets a little bothered there and comes running late. So certainly did not have the best of trips, and I just think this horse, get back to the winner's circle after that performance. It was a good setup for today's race. Ended up finishing second after being about, I'm going to say 7 wide in that race. Number 3, Beauty Boss, is another eligible to run well in here after following her $25,000 maiden win at the distance. She was that late closing third in that race behind Choose to Be Happy. So you're looking for a horse to be on the ticket, but I'm going to go with the horse that came out of the key race last August. Hope this horse is ready. That's the one I Am Boss, and the favorite, Choose to Be Happy, in second. Race number 3 this afternoon is a 6 furlong maiden claimer for fillies and mares 3 and up. $12,500. They did have one. Well, we had the scratch of the 3 and the scratch of the 13, 14, 15, 16, and the jockey change on the 12 make their rider Sammy Camacho, and that weight will now be 118 pounds. But Pete will give you all the scratches and changes you need after we get done here cruising through this card. I went with the number 11 horse in here, Warrary, who's dropping to the 12.5 level today after responding to the addition of Lasix. I thought took a positive step forward when running second against 16 maidens going 5.5 furlongs. If you follow my analysis at all, you know I really like the work that Terry Pompey does, and you're getting our leading rider, Edgar Zayas, in the saddle today. Other horses I used on my ticket was the 7, Yes It's Free, who's turning back to 3/4 of a mile today. First outing since finishing second. It was against those 16 maidens, going 7 up at Tampa Bay for Saul Matos. And you get Edwin Gonzalez. Boy, did he ride nice yesterday to win the stake race yesterday. We'll show that race a little later on. And then the number 2, Piper. This one goes to the Marcial Navarro bond after the claim. Dueled for the lead last time out, fading when facing similar. That was going 3/4 of a mile. It was that sealed, sloppy track, so maybe this one jumps forward with the fast conditions. We got Angel Arroyo will be in the saddle. So in race number 3, we'll recap. I got the 11, the 7, and the number 2 horse. Remember, scratch the 3, and all the altos 13 down through 16. Fourth race this afternoon, we have, it's about 7.5 on the turf. These are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, non-winners of 2 in life. 20,000 down to 16. Scratch the main track only, number 3. I went with the number 2 in here. Coastal Coast is cutting back slightly to 7.5 furlongs. Going to show you its last race. We're going to pick it up from the 8th pole home when Crystal Coast actually has the lead in here. So my handicapping thoughts were, well, if this horse can run this good at this distance, maybe the turn back in 7.5 will be good. You see the horse on the lead. She just gives it up in the final stages there. And they went pretty solid early on in there, you know, with the 46 and 2.5 miles. So I just thought the turn back for Crystal Coast was really going to help. Carlos David, just an excellent trainer. You got Sammy Camacho in the saddle today, so I like to turn back to the about 7.5 furlong distance. The inside horse, Courted, comes into the race with the same sort of modus operandi as the number 2 horse in here, Crystal Coast. This daughter, Palace Malice, turns back to the distance of about 7.5 furlongs after finishing second against those 2 lifetime claimers going a mile. They look like almost carbon copy races, both of them turning back. The latter, Courted, is trained by Jorge Abreu, and you get Edwin Gonzalez handling the inside post this afternoon. What do you do with the number 7 VK Star, who's, I believe, 6 or 8 to 1 on the morning line? This one is making her local return after using her speed. She made a bunch of next out winners, 3 exactly, in a fruitful $16,000 maiden race going a mile in the 16th on the Tampa turf. Tough to gauge what that, what that quality will translate to down here, but certainly was impressed by beating trio of next out winners. So for me in race 4, it's the 2 Crystal Coast, the 1 Courted, and number 7 BK Star. We're going to go to race number 5 this afternoon. We're back on the main track. 6 furlongs claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, 35,000 down to 25,000. Do have a jockey change in here on the number 3 appointed, Miguel Vasquez. Paco Lopez not going to be riding for the next couple of days. Got one of those forced vacations, if you know what I mean, by the steward. So Paco will be off his mount. I think he got 5 days for some infraction, just let you know. So when you see him throughout the card today, you know there'll be some jockey changes. This one, as I mentioned, 6 furlongs, fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 2, 35 down to 25. What about the 7 in here, Caffeine Rush, who goes from the rail to the outside? It's only post 7 this afternoon. Shook off trouble at the gate, was sort of edgy and unprepared in that race. Would have set the pace second against 25 starter allowance runners. The trainer is Elizabeth Dobles, and I think spots this horse perfectly for $35,000 non-winners of 2 in life. I think that might be the key for number 7, Caffeine Rush. Well, Bohemian Moon is hoping to shine locally after responding to the addition of blinkers. Let's go back and see this horse. This horse really woke up with the blinkers on. There you're going to see that day the number 5 Bohemian Moon up at Tampa Bay, and just becomes a new horse with the addition of the shades. Trainer Dennis Ward has Wilmer Garcia down to ride this afternoon. Good Tampa setup, and horse just ran away from the field once again. I don't know how you gauge the quality there with that, but boy, the blinkers certainly did make distance in here. And as I mentioned, appointed will be ridden today by Miguel Vasquez. This one moves to the Leon Macias Canis barn after the claim, cuts back to 6 furlongs on the dirt. after making sort of like that middle move and finishing a willing third against 22 lifetime claimers. That was going a mile on the dirt. Note the filly ran well in her only previous race on the dirt, albeit it was at a mile. So see if she can, translate that dirt form to sprinting on the main track at 6 furlongs. So an interesting race, and we're going to take a short break, come back, show you the Rainbow Six.
Second in the two path. Ground ball first inside. Race. And a quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here, and it is race number 6. It's about 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claimers, 3-year-olds and upward, and we're going to scratch the number 13 horse in here. And this is a tough way to start the Rainbow Six. If you look at these horses, it is a wide open fair. I actually have one of the horses on my ticket that's 30-1. I did go 3 deep in here with the 3, the 4, and the 8. The 8 is Dream of Anfield. Heart Astray is that 30-1 shot I was talking about. And then the number 8, Mr. Einstein. 2 deep in race number 7 with Hot Babe and Amakoko Pebbles. In race number 8, I like the 10 horse today, Gene V's Legacy. Got a jockey change. Going to be ridden by MSCL Haramia. The trainer's Tim Ham. Love the work that he does. But I also used the number 2 horse in there, and that is Starship Enterprise, and that is race number 8. 2 deep in race number 9. Excited to see Chancet coming back. This one was the talk of the town during its 2-year-old freshman campaign for sure. But I also used Double Crown, who's really a nice horse for Kathy Ridfo. In the 10th race, my long shot today, not much of a long shot. Thought it would be more on the morning line, but the Rocha is the best close in a race stocked with speed. Chantal will be in the saddle. And 3 deep in race number 11 with the 7, 5, and 8. And I almost wanted to go all in the last race. If you've been following my Rainbow Six, I lost the last 2 races, Rainbow Six, in the last race where my horses ran 2nd or 3rd, and it's been tough. But you know what? We're back in it today. We'll see if we can get it done. So I'm tempted to take all in the last race. A couple of tough beats, as they say, in the racing game. Getting back to the 6th race, number 4, Dream of Anfield, is hoping for a clean trip today after bumping and having to take up sharply in the 2nd turn. You know, I was going to show this, but it was just after that the course just called it a day. Georgina Baxter has Marcos Meneses named to ride. Marcos have a couple of winners, and as I said, if you go through and start handicapping this race, it is a wide open affair. If you have an opinion, make sure you jump on it. As I was mentioned, number 3, Heart Astray, 30-1. He's hoping to stretch his speed to the wire. So it's one of those speed plays for me. First start since opening and surrendering the lead when trying 16 maidens here during the championship meet. So certainly an easier spot. Carlos Lugos named to ride. I think this one will be on the engine this afternoon in a wide open race like this where there is no standouts. Maybe go with a speed horse like that. Number 8, Mr. Einstein, he's certainly got to be sharp in this race, is turning back to the 7.5 furlongs after tracking the pace and fading. That was against Simla, going 9 furlongs. He could be part of the pace in here. At this race, sort of conjures up more questions than answers. A tough way to start the Rainbow Six, but an excellent betting race, especially if you can find a key in there. I'm going to be interested to see how the board plays out, and that's the best part of it being race number 6, because you get a chance to watch the board before you put your Rainbow Six ticket together. Going to race number 7, a 1-mile claimer. These are fillies and mastering up, non-winners of 2 in life. The number 5, Grand Reserve, 4-1 on the line, was scratched out of there. 2-horse Amacoco Pebbles is going to be ridden by Semi Camacho. I went with the 3, Hot Babe, who's stepping up to face winners. After using her speed, she defeated those 12-5 maidens going 7 furlongs for Jose D'Angelo. Emicia Jaramillo topped his daughter Fury Capcori, who's 2 for 3 in the money at a mile. So we sort of know this horse might be able to get this distance today. Amacoco Pebbles was the morning line favorite in here. We didn't try a mile for the first time. She followed her maiden score with a 4-wide third against those 12-5. 2 lifetime claimers going 7 furlongs. And I think the drop to the 6,250 level can be key for this horse. Amacoco Pebbles. I wish this horse had just a little bit more speed. And then the number 9, Starship Blanca, who's stretching out to the mile after rallying 4 wide to finish third, was beaten a couple of lengths against similar going 7. Jesus Landers, the trainer, got Gadiel Martinez in the saddle today. So Hot Babe on the top of the ticket for me. Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. I told you I like the 10 horse in here, but this one, let's give you the conditions of the race first of all. It's a mile on the turf, maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $50,000. Scratch the outside horse, number 11, Sierra Gold, and the jockey on the 10 is MSCL Jaramillo. As I mentioned, Paco not riding for the next couple of days. I'll tell you why I like the number 10, Gene V's Legacy. Debuting locally at the $50,000 level after ending her campaign up at Tampa Bay with a well-meant second against maiden special weight competition going a mile. Trainer is Timmy Ham and MSCL Jaramillo, as I mentioned, atop this daughter of Animal Kingdom. I like the work that the trainer does, Tim Ham. MSCL certainly a great rider, so that was my top pick in there. Number 2, Starship Enterprise is dropping to the 50 level again after disputing the pace, finishing second against special weight competition, going this mile distance we're talking about. Steve Dwosker and Semi Camacho, sort of a lateral class move this afternoon for this horse. So, you know, you see 50, maiden special weight. I think they're very similar at this time of year. You know, maiden special weight, maybe in the winter at the championship meet, you got to pay a little more attention. I think this, like I said, is a lateral move. Number 1, Madeira One, is dropping to the 50 level after failing to uncork a late rally. When 5th against maiden special weight runners, Chantal Sutherland's going to ride for Patrick Bean Cohen. They seem to have a pretty good combination going. They're winning races about 20%. So I just thought this horse on the drop is another one you might want to give a look to, and that's the one, Madeira One. As I mentioned in race number 9 today, which we're all waiting to see this horse come back. It's a 6-furlong allowance optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up, or the optional claimer price of $62,500. And I'm alluding to Chancet, who was the talk of the town during his freshman campaign when he won 2 of 3 legs of the Florida Cyrus Stakes Series. And we're going to go back and show you that performance now. It was September 2019, late September, boy, but this was the $400,000 in reality. And this horse, after just getting beat in the middle leg and just was sort of controversial, came back and realized, really ran exceptionally well. He actually followed this up with a win in the 1 mile Mucho Macho Man in the first start of his 3-year-old campaign, but has not been seen in 14 months. The leading trainer, Safi Joseph Jr., so this horse has been waiting for a long time to see it come back, but that's a long layoff. So what about the number 1 in here, Double Crown, who's making his local return, the first race since really a stellar sprint campaign in which he won back-to-back stakes here last summer and was third in the Grade 3 Smile Sprint in September. Then he comes back and runs third again in the Grade 3 Chick Lang at Pimlico. That was last October when we had that different Pimlico kind of meet. Usually it's in May. This is when it was in October. So Kathy Ritvo, Luca Panici, one of our go-to riders, will be in the saddle. So here's a horse that also you got to pay some attention to. And number 6, Man of Honor, will try and make it 2 in a row. So he's got the what have you done lately angle going for him for the red-hot Louis Rossell barn after returning from the fairgrounds to defeat those 35 optional claimers. Won that race in pretty handy fashion. So Chancet coming off the bench has got a lot of talent, long layoff. Double Crown, we're going to see how this horse runs. Man of Honor, what did it do? Win last time out. So maybe you want to go 3 deep in there when you're putting that race together. Race number 10 this afternoon, about 7 1/2 furlongs on the turf, 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and upward. non-winners of 3 in life or a race since 11/23. That is November 23rd, 6 months ago. So it's a dated claimer. Lots of conditions in that race. Scratch the main track only. Number 8. Number 7, DeRocha, who I put on top because I think this one sets the trip. We'll have Chantal Sutherland in the saddle. DeRocha, who does his best running in the latter stages of the race, I mean, should sit in the catbird speed. I see a lot of speed in this race. They're assigned on the run in here. The trainer is Alan Benson, as I mentioned, Chantel. And it's just all about the trip for me to see if this horse, and it's going to be a bit of a pricing. I think it was 6-1 on the morning line. So he was my long shot today. I don't know if people are going to see the race play out just the way I do with a lot of speed. And this one being a horse that can close. I was hoping to get a little bit more than 6-1, but our line maker, pretty sharp catching that one. What about the 2, Sharm El Sheikh, a 6-time turf winner and fits the conditions of this race perfectly. He makes his first start since using his speed to defeat 16 starter optional claimers, and that was going 9 furlongs during September. So as I mentioned, non-winners of a race since November 23rd. He fits the conditions, and he comes into the race as a 6-time turf winner. So good job by the connections. Murat Sankal reading the condition book, getting this one in a good spot. Number 10, Thunder Ride, is dropping to the 35 level today. First race since finishing set the pace and fade fourth against 50 claimers going a mile on the good turf. I mentioned a little early on, like the work that Terry Pompey does. Got Embassy El Jaramillo handling that little mini turn back to about 7 1/2 furlongs. So it's all about the trip for me with number 7, DeRocha, and I'm sure you old folks know that DeRocha was the manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers about 4,000 years ago. So you young pups might want to look it up, Leo DeRocha. So he was called the Mouth, I think, because he always was yelling, I think, in the dugout. So with that said, I don't know. Sort of got lost on that one. Race number 11 this afternoon, 5 furlongs. Turf maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, 25,000. Hey, scratch the 10 in here, but note that the number 13 is going to get in, so give it a look. Miguel Vasquez will be riding the number 13 today. Very important. So you get a 12-horse field, and a lot of people don't notice that these horses get in, so make sure you mark that down. With that said, I went with the 7, Mama Longlegs, who's dropping a notch after dueling for the lead throughout and finishing second. It was against 35 maidens, going this 5 furlong distance. Nancy Harris, the trainer. You're getting a strong speed rider in Sammy Camacho in the saddle again, and I just thought this horse had a nice shot, 9-2 on the morning line. Number 5, Gispita, is looking to show more during crunch time after rallying to finish third behind aforementioned Mama Longlegs when they knocked heads back on April 25th. Davy Fawkes has Edwin Gonzalez handling the rematch this afternoon. And then the number 8 competitive star for me is a 4-year-old daughter of Competitive Edge, debuting for Jane Sibeli, Lasix, Chantal named to ride. That's the good thing. The concern, this barn, 0 for 16 with first-time starters. So you know that Jane likes to give a horse a race or two before they have him ready to go and win, but you never know. It can happen today. So another wide-open affair. So that's the 11 races. I'm going to take a short break, catch my breath, come back with our lightning round.
Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new Mobile Pass Performances. Access the most trusted information in horse racing, including exclusive buyer speed figures and DRF analysis and selections. Experience the mobile optimized DRF Pass Performances on your phone from anywhere at any time. Go to drf.com/now. Use coupon code NOW to get a free single card and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here, fast main track, firm turf course, as I predicted or as I promised. Here is the lightning round. I've been sort of enamored with Hot Rod Charlie over the last couple of days. I'm going to show you his work. He was third in Kentucky Derby, and he's coming back. I'm going to show you his work. He's on the outside there. And it was a pretty good work. You see the final time, 101.60 for the 5 furlongs. And Hot Rod Charlie, is going to be ridden by Flavin Pratt, who rode in the Kentucky Derby today. to their third-place finish. But Flavin Pratt, if you remember, rode Rombauer in the Preakness, so I just thought that was interesting. So maybe they're trying to tell us something, or the jockey's trying to tell us something with Hot Rod Charlie. Really nice work there. As I mentioned, 5 furlongs of 101.60. Got some good news for our friends up north, and well, lots of fans from Canada here at Gulfstream Park, and I'm happy for them. Woodbine Live Racing is going to finally return at Ontario at Woodbine. Opens June 18th. So congratulations to all the people out there, the great horse racing fans up in Canada. We get to see them down here in the winter when we don't have COVID, of course, but they are big fans of our racing, and we're big fans of their racing, so good to see them back. As I mentioned, we had 2 nice stakes yesterday, so I figured we'd go back and just see the stretch under them, and this one was great. Noble Drama coming off a long layoff, only had 3 works coming into the race, and just really gets up there to win the names, Jimmy. They're going to see number 4, the Noble Drama, just getting up under the shadow of the wire, and I thought that was a great performance. It was like, coming back and just had to hold on, got that bob right at the wire. So congratulations to David Fawkes and all the connections of Noble Drama. And now we'll show you one more of the Golden Isles. And this was Caribou Club, and this was my bet of the day that I liked. And just a good ride, as I mentioned, with Edwin Gonzalez in here. Number 7 horse in here. And just, you'll see the 7 just gets splits horses, was sort of like behind horses at the turn, and gets up. This was a grade 3 winner here, sprinting on the grass. I thought it was a good thing. I think he paid $10 or something like that. So trained by Tom Proctor. So that was the action on Saturday. We got lots of fun on Sunday. And by the way, I wanted to mention the Super High Five was not hitting the last race yesterday. So that's already over $10,000. So you might want to jump into this first race. And like I said, if you have an opinion in a couple of these races today, you can make some nice money. The early pick 5 pool over 50,000. I'm going to be here throughout the day. I hope you are too. The main track is fast. Turf course is firm.
And they're off. Second in the 2 path.